Well, Rotimi Fakejo joins me now on the program via telephone. Good morning, Rotimi, and thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, Harriet.
Well, Rotimi, yesterday was the first trading day of the year, and the market gave up most of the gains recorded on the last trading day of the year. What actually happened?
Well, I think for yesterday, I think even the entire global market yesterday actually started yellow and on a negative note. And I think for what we saw in our market yesterday is not anything quite different. But I think one thing specific that we need to note is that the factors that were responsible for yesterday's transaction. I think Zenith Bank closed at 27.40 for the year, and I think a lot of investors believe that that price was high, and it's something they could come around to take advantage of by trying to sell off. And I think that was what was responsible yesterday, as much as about 16 million shares of Zenith Bank was traded, and it ended up losing about 8.76. For me, if not for the huge loss that we saw in Zenith Bank yesterday, the sectorial the bank index will have actually closed positive because of the various changes we saw in GT Bank, in Diamond Bank, and a few others. Even FBN yesterday remained stable. And I think, we saw some slight gain also in UBA. So I believe if not for profit taken in Zenith Bank yesterday, we really will have seen the particular banking index closing high. Then also looking at insurance. Insurance also closed high yesterday, coupled with industrial goods, and all the other indices closed low. And I think that is coming on the heels of Nigerian breweries, the loss in Nigerian breweries, and also Guinness and Nestle. So I believe for what we saw yesterday, even the volume and value done yesterday was quite a surprise in the very first day of the year. But I want to believe that as we end, even the trend might not really be so much different from what we're going to have today. But by Monday or maybe effectively from Tuesday, we will see a different turnaround. So I think for the way it stands, I believe strongly that the year is still definitely will be a very good year for the market. And for the transactions yesterday, I think they were quite impressive in many ways.
Oh, really? So, was there any unusual activity at the market? Because there was over 40 gainers to the 16 stocks that lost.
Yes, like I said much earlier, if not for the huge loss that we saw in Zenith Bank, in Nigerian breweries, and maybe to an extent Nestle and Guinness, we definitely will have seen the market turn around yesterday. And I think there was a fair stability within the market, and this actually portends a good image for the year 2014.
Well, Rotimi, NEM Insurance with 38.31 million units was among the most actively traded stocks yesterday, and yesterday it released its third quarter result. Could this probably be the reason why investors paid so much attention to the equity?
Yeah, I think towards the end of the year, the auditor report of the company was released, and I think for the figures released, the result, the PAT wasn't so impressive, but there is a dividend payout of about 6 kobo. So that definitely is what has been delighting investors to take huge interest in that particular stock. And I think as soon as the result was released, we have been seeing the stock closing on bid, and yesterday wasn't really much different because the still went ahead to gain as much as 5%. So I think with the way it is, I think the trend is still likely to continue for that stock until there is a good measure of stability whereby investors believe that for the price that it is not really is not commensurate to the dividend payout. So at that point in time, you may see the stock stabilizing and thereafter declining.
Well, looking at the market, does it look like the bears will be returning anytime soon, or is the market actually switching into a long-lasting price movement stage?
Can you say that again, please?
I said, looking at the market, does it look like the bears will be returning anytime soon, or is the market switching into long-lasting price movement stage?
Well, I think the bears, at least starting from next week, the bears will definitely have no place in the market just yet. And I believe the bulls are going to have their way. And you know fully well that by the starting from February, we begin to see auditor reports coming out in trickles, and then later the ones coming from the banks, which will be later in March or early April. So there is going to be a serious positioning by investors for the various sectors. And I think that definitely will put the market in an upward trend.
So what's the mood at the market this morning?
Well, it's still not different from what we saw yesterday, and I think by the time the market closed, it may not really close the way it did yesterday, but the activities will still be relatively the same in terms of volume and value. And I think at the end of the day, it just be marginally up.
Well, investors are hoping the market recoups the loss. But thank you, Rotimi, for joining me on the program. Have a profitable trading day and enjoy your weekend.
Thank you.
Well, there's plenty to come on this morning. Please join us again.